I know a lot of people are questioning if a timeline is the same as a universe in the multiverse. This is my Loki season finale, as well as season 2 complete review video. Essentially, I'm going to be talking a lot about the season finale because that's the last thing I saw, and it's the thing I'm most excited to talk about. I want to forewarn you, there's going to be spoilers throughout this entire video. I don't want to feel contained by a non-spoiler review right now. This show is too damn good for me to just talk in generalities. The Loki season 2 finale is an absolute triumph and it's one of the best things that Marvel has ever produced since the end of the Infinity Saga. Let me tell you something right now. Loki at the end, ascending to, I told you spoilers, Loki at the end, ascending to his own throne, winning by losing, winning by sacrificing himself to revive all the timelines, to be alone at the end of time is one of the best things I've ever seen. And not just from a writing perspective, seeing him walk across that bridge, transforming into his Loki costume, taking his full power and using it for the good of everyone in existence. I think the only other time I felt this exhilarated watching a Disney Plus show, especially a finale, season 2 of The Mandalorian when Luke shows up. Spoilers for that. Sorry if you haven't seen it. This episode from the beginning, with Loki trying to figure out the right combination, the right way to save the timelines, the right way to get Victor Timely from one end of the bridge to the other safely and soundly so that the rings can expand to allow the flow of timelines through those rings. He's doing everything from time slipping from 10 minutes ago, a couple days ago, and eventually the situation doesn't allow for him to slow down to get information from every other single person and keep trying and trying the same damn thing. Let me go back in time and learn quantum physics at the same level as OB and Victor Timely so I can, one, speak their language, and two, just solve this thing by myself because we are pressed for time. The entire timeline is about to explode and destroy everything but the main timeline. This episode had everything. The emotional beats towards the end of the, and I know I'm all over the place because I'm freestyling this. The emotional beats towards the end of the episode, when he figures out it's he who remains. He knew this. This is where I have to go back so I can stop Sylvie from killing he who remains and releasing all of this. Eventually, as an audience member, you come to find out that he who remains, and he knew all of this was going to happen. So when he said, "I'll see you soon," he wasn't even talking about the other Kangs. He was literally talking about himself because he paved the road for it. When writing is good, it's like a euphoric experience, especially when it's a finale of something. I'm so excited for the future of Marvel despite how I feel about the project I saw before Loki, because now I know that they had a plan to connect everything. I mean, of course they did. Kevin Feige wouldn't go into this without a plan. However, I do feel like this is a step in the right direction because not everything with the multiverse saga has been great, but this is a step in the right direction. One of the big reveals, especially when we're talking about connectivity and the fact that this is a step in the right direction, is the reveal that Loki was the reason why these timelines, including the Kangs on these timelines, could exist. Him doing this is causality, is allowance for Ant-Man and Quantumania to happen. The Kang on Earth 616 in the adjacent universe, they're talking about the quantum realm, where Kang was and where he was causing trouble there. And I love the fact that, yeah, they resolved it themselves. There's an infinite number of Kangs and there's an infinite number of issues that's going to come up potentially. So I'm super excited for the future of the MCU. The season as a whole was phenomenal. They took us through a mystery. Every episode, I had no idea where the next episode was going, and I loved feeling that way because despite me feeling like predictability isn't necessarily a bad thing, when I was in this particular situation, I was happy to not know because I just wanted to be shown. I just wanted to be told a story where I couldn't tell where it was going. Let's also talk about OB. Ki-Hu Kwan, brilliant addition. He's one of my favorite characters on the show now. By far, the best new addition. Jonathan Majors was great in this show. He was great throughout this entire season as Victor Timely and once again as He Who Remains. And let's talk about Mobius. Mobius got his jet ski. Now he didn't ride a jet ski on the water, but we did see him with a jet ski, and the fact that Mobius was a jet ski salesman is kind of hilarious. I love seeing Mobius struggle throughout this entire show with the fear of going to find out what his real life is. I think he said he didn't want to find out because he might not want to leave it, and that he's comfortable in not knowing. But we all know that he was just afraid to find out. Also, let me mention B-15's ascension. She was great in the show. She had a very limited role, not a lot of time on screen, but her presence was always felt. As we go forward, I think that she's going to play a huge role in the MCU. And I say the MCU because I actually don't believe that there's going to be a Loki season 3 where Loki himself ends up. I don't see him coming down from that position anytime soon. He's going to be stuck up there, in my opinion and my theory, until Kang Dynasty. And I'm not even sure he's going to come down from there after Kang Dynasty. So we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure Loki's stuck up on that throne. My two biggest issues with the show is what was done with Miss Minutes and what was done with Ravonna Renslayer. Now, Renslayer's situation was kind of redeemed in the last episode because it points to her having a bigger role in the future. However, so did season 1 also point to her having a bigger role in the future, and she really didn't have that big of a role. Knowing the relationship between Kang and Ravonna, she's going to have a bigger role at some point. Miss Minutes situation, I think that they didn't know what to do with Miss Minutes. She was all over the place. She was lovesick AI, she was murder bot, she was snitch and just revealer of things that no one should have known, including Ravonna. She told Ravonna Renslayer exactly what happened between her and Kang, which is a really cool reveal. I love that for the future of the MCU. However, I really felt as though Miss Minutes just kind of turned out to be thrown by the wayside. Every time that she kind of showed some kind of threatening aura or presence, it was kind of stamped out by the rest of the story. Sylvie was great as the moral compass of Loki, especially in this last episode where Loki feels as though he has to make the decision to kill Sylvie or find another way to try to resolve this Kang issue, this He Who Remains issue. And I really felt like that she was the backbone to Loki, which is the perfect position for her, although she's a badass. If you remember in the previous episode where she gives Loki this piece of wisdom about not controlling people and defining where they go for them, I thought that her words there were amazing. I know that I've said that the Disney Plus shows are doing more harm than good for the MCU, but not when they're doing this much groundwork to help the MCU. Now, here's something I want to address. I know a lot of people are questioning if a timeline is the same as a universe in the multiverse. I think it is. I think a timeline is a universe in the multiverse. I think that they're all different realities. Every timeline is its own reality. So there's not a single universe with multiple realities in it. There are just multiple realities that are each its own timeline. In this timeline, Loki is a frog. In this timeline, Loki is a woman. All of these are different timelines. All of these are different realities. A timeline is its own reality. Yes, when Loki picked up the Tesseract and got dragged into a different situation because of the foolishness that the Avengers were doing in Endgame, foolishness I enjoyed, it created a new reality, aka it created a new universe. All of these are separate universes. Every time a timeline is made, a new universe is made. I think that all these things are parallel to one another, and yeah, we're gonna see how it turns out in the future. I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go. With Kevin Feige and Bob Iger, no longer Bob Chapek, running the ship again, I think that we're going to see a big change in the quality and consistency and quality of these Marvel products. Let me know what you guys think of Loki Season 2, and I'll see you guys next time.